Welcome, everyone, and thanks for tuning in to this Fireside chat. We're here today to talk about modern teamwork and how it can enable tech-driven businesses to thrive and succeed. My name is Rick Maharaj, and I'm the field CTO here at Atlassian. And for the past 2 decades, I've been working with large enterprise companies to help them meet their strategic objectives using enterprise architectures and scalable systems. I'm super excited about the topic, and I'm joined here with my colleague, Eddie Park. Eddie, please introduce yourself.
Hi, Eddie Park. I'm the Global Strategic Solutions Executive at Atlassian. I'm focused on helping leaders drive value through cross-functional collaboration and transformation. I've spent many years working in large enterprise companies, and I'm excited to be here today.
Eddie, in our roles, we get to spend a lot of time with CIOs, CTOs, and executive decision makers across many orgs around the world. We also get to learn about their patterns of working, how they collaborate, how they operate. When we talk about modern teamwork today, especially for tech-driven organizations, what are we really looking at?
Yeah, a tech-driven business is in every industry now. They're diverse, often geographically dispersed, and fundamentally leverage technology to deliver value to their customers and operate their business. As these companies have evolved and transformed the way they operate, they've adopted new technologies and ways of working. Yet many still have legacy systems and practices in place. It creates a lot of complexity. Systems are disjointed, information is everywhere, and technology on its own doesn't always live up to the promise to make things better and easier.
Sounds really complex, and I bet that complexity also impacts many levels of the organization, right?
That's right. Communication breaks down at all levels. Teams are duplicating effort, chasing updates, and leaders can't see clearly what's actually moving the needle. And this is at a time when we know the world is not slowing down.
The pandemic really shifted ways of working for many organizations, including us at Atlassian. From your view, how did companies evolve during that time?
It impacted a lot, but one of the main areas it affected was how people connected and collaborated. Companies adopted many new tools, but didn't always change the way they operated to accommodate the shift to this more remote and distributed world. People moved, companies evolved, and after the pandemic, we were all struggling to find ways of staying aligned and connected. It's really affected teams, leading to lower engagement, and many teams are struggling to keep up with the pace of change. It's not an easy time.
That makes sense, Eddie. Macroeconomic conditions, higher customer expectations, and the rate of innovation are some of the many things pushing companies to evolve and adapt. It seems like it's only getting faster and faster, right?
Yeah. Adaptability is almost tantamount to survival. As we mentioned, more and more industries are incorporating technology into the way they operate to try and adapt more quickly in this fast-paced, demanding world we live in. We're finding many customers stepping back after all of this post-pandemic change and really being more strategic in how they use technology to operate and drive value. The questions being asked now are different than before. More people are asking about integrated, adaptable, and holistic approaches to enabling their tech-driven orgs rather than just going out to buy the next shiny thing. Companies are not asking for more big bang transformations, but realize they're in the era of constant transformation and evolution. Companies that seize this moment and adopt new practices enabled by the most innovative technology can absolutely gain a real competitive advantage.
Eddie, one challenge I hear over and over through our roundtables and executive briefings is that leaders don't necessarily have a line of sight into their strategy down to their execution and have a hard time with this. Why is this still so hard for many companies?
There are a lot of things that create these operational gaps. One is often the game of strategic telephone. Like a leader has a priority, it goes through many levels of translation until it reaches the people that actually have to do the work. This creates a lot of opportunity for misalignment. And second, systems aren't connected to help align work and priorities, making it more complex to stay aligned because you need to rely on these disconnected systems and people. There's really no connective tissue. It's actually one of the more important principles driving how Atlassian thinks about its solutions holistically.
And that misalignment creates a huge drag on progress, right?
Yeah, it impacts a lot of things, including morale, the ability to do prioritization, and ultimately, it impacts your ability to respond to change. The Atlassian approach is to connect strategy to work in real time, so decisions aren't just faster, they're smarter.
Eddie, shifting gears now, we've seen a lot of organizations wrestling with project versus product operating models. From your view, what are the pros and cons?
Yeah, project models are great for delivery, but they're often focused on a specific scope, time, and budget, and in some ways are often disconnected. Product models, on the other hand, encourage end-to-end ownership, continuous improvement, and a focus on customer. It doesn't mean you have to pick one over the other, but we have seen companies shifting more toward the product operating model as a way to allow more autonomy and adaptability. Many large enterprises still require larger programs to help coordinate complex delivery across multiple parts of an organization, and that's where we see many customers landing. A bit of a hybrid mode blending some of each model. Projects get consolidated into larger programs or initiatives, which helps align historically smaller chunks of work into more meaningful holistic outcomes. But this change requires a cultural and system shift.
Eddie, where do most companies struggle in that transition?
The biggest hurdle is mindset. Moving from task completion to value delivery, this mental change from tracking output, which is really easier, to really focusing on outcomes and value is a core shift in approaching what you actually want to focus on. Autonomy is another big area of change. How do you trust the people closest to the information to help drive execution and prioritization? Strategies are great at the top of the house, but execution and the ability to deliver on that vision are critical. Trusting people to do the right thing is another hurdle organizations often confront when making this shift. And obviously, tools don't solve your problems. They can actually get in the way. So having an open and integrated platform orchestrating prioritization, planning, and execution across all teams is a huge advantage.
So this sounds like a lot of change management, Eddie. How do you help execs navigate that shift?
Executive support is critical in helping show how leaders build a trusted technology organization that can deliver value to the business is an important outcome for many business and technology executives today. Being clear about the starting point and understanding where you want to go as an organization with clear outcomes that will be achieved along the way are important mental roadmaps to get leadership buy-in. You can't just paint a pretty picture of the future. You have to deliver value along the way. You know, Rick, when we think about these organizations evolving, what are some of the things you're seeing in those companies that are ahead of the curve, the ones really shifting how they operate and leverage technology?
It's a great question, Eddie, and I'd say it's really about alignment and connecting the dots across the organization. We see many examples where business units and functional groups within organizations create their own ways of working, using certain tool sets, applications, and workflows. Consequently, though, this creates data silos, it creates isolation, and really limits collaboration across functional groups. This becomes even more apparent and more troublesome when attempting to collaborate cross-functionally, say between tech and non-tech teams. And this is where we see really a lot of issues of systems of work breaking down. Conversely, when we see implementations done right, with the right practices supported by the right integrated system of work, you get more transparency, you get better forecasting, and the teams start operating with more purpose. Technology really is the how here, and it's there to support workflows and connectivity, but it's not the end-all. To be more efficient in achieving holistic outcomes, companies have to adopt more modern ways of working and really get into the right habits.
How do you see that permeating across the different levels of the organization?
Sure, when the right system of work is implemented, what we see is leaders gain greater visibility into outcomes. Managers can start coaching more instead of firefighting. And individual contributors see how their work connects to the bigger picture. And that increases engagement and net presence.
What about globally distributed teams? We talked about that. How do things improve for them?
Well, as a connected system, no matter where they work, teams are tied into the same source of truth, the same goals, and the same cadence. So all teams, wherever they are, can benefit. For example, Atlassian, as you know, operates this way across its many global locations and many remote workers.
Can you tell me a little bit more about the bigger vision behind Atlassian's system of work and its teamwork graph?
Well, the vision here is to create a connected enterprise where work is more traceable, measurable, and intelligently aligned across business and tech teams.
Rick, we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about AI for a minute. What role does Atlassian see AI playing in the system of work?
Eddie, AI is absolutely a core part of our strategy. The Atlassian system of work automates the mundane and surfaces insights that leaders can really act on. But to make that work, the foundation has to be clean. It has to be organized, accessible, and aligned.
What makes Atlassian's investment in AI different from others out there right now?
Great question, Eddie. We're not just layering AI on top of chaos. Atlassian's approach is deeply rooted in structured data, thanks to our Teamwork Graph. This allows integrations and extensibility across first and third-party systems through our integrated platform for true signal.
And how does all of that help leaders make smarter decisions faster?
By embedding intelligence directly into the flow of work, leaders don't need to hunt for answers anymore. AI brings context and clarity so teams can move from decision to action in real time.
Leaders are constantly being pitched new tools. What makes Atlassian's platform investment different from traditional tech bets?
Atlassian is investing in a platform that unifies system of work. So you're not switching context and you're staying aligned and scalable. It's not just about aggregating data and metadata for search capabilities, for example. Companies that do this well leverage not just the data, but all of the potential actions and events that can be orchestrated across their investments. The ability to combine data, actions, and events contextually is what makes our platform different. Combined with the right practices, it becomes easier and more efficient to achieve the outcomes needed.
We talked about the shift in how companies are thinking about operating and really taking a more strategic view on how to implement new practices and tools to help them operate more effectively. I think about the journey Atlassian has been on itself and how that mirrors a lot of our customers.
That's right. A lot of our innovation comes from our own journey and our own experiences of helping many of our largest customers succeed in delivering value and operating in this continually evolving world. I've been on the journey for the past several years, and the amount of innovation I've seen at Atlassian has been incredible. It's been an amazing process hearing from our customers on how powerful our platform is in enabling how they want to operate.
Rick, thank you for spending the time today talking about modern teamwork and how it enables tech-driven businesses. It's been a fun conversation.
Thank you, Eddie.
So if you're watching this and wondering where to begin, start with the end in mind. What are you trying to achieve at your company? What outcomes are you striving for? And how can you evolve to make your business more adaptable? With that strategic mindset, you can align your people, practices, and technology.
And make sure your systems of work can flex and adapt with you. Transformation isn't just a one-time move, it's an ongoing journey.